What's up, y'all? So, anyway, I'm just going to share my dream that I believe is a message from God for my life. And I kept waking up about an hour before it was time for me to go to work. And so I just was asking God, too, over and over again, what do you want me to do? Make it plain, make it clear, show me what you want me to do. I really need direction. And so I asked him because um, I've had some dreams and some visions and stuff like that. So I asked him, like, God, you keep waking me up, or I keep waking up an hour early. Can you just, in that last hour when I go back to sleep before I get back up again, can you give me a dream? Well, it seemed like it was just probably a couple days later. It didn't happen the next day or even the day after that, but it seemed like it was maybe 3 days later, 4 days, something like that. But not long after I asked for that, I woke up and I went back to sleep. And when I went back to sleep, I saw a screen, kind of like just like the screen that I'm recording on right now. It was a phone screen, but it was turned uh, horizontally, the long ways across, and in the middle was the numbers, like like the time, right? But it said 404, and the interesting thing about that is that God had been recently using numbers a lot. Um, and I'm not really a numbers person. I'm more of a words, concepts, visual type of person. I'm really into words and imagery, but not as much into numbers. So I saw the 404, and in the dream, there was not a lot of emotion. Some of my spiritual dreams and stuff like that, very emotional, but this one was very matter of fact, like just look, observe, and I felt the impression that I needed to remember the numbers. Like, remember this number, remember the numbers, and remember the sequence, the order. Um, so, anyway, so at first it said 404. As soon as I got that, I was like, 404. The impression was like, remember that number. I was like, okay. And then next, as soon as I got that, it said 448. And I was kind of puzzled because normally I've been seeing a lot of 444s, 1111, 111, 222, all of those, mostly the ones, but they're all the same number on my phone and on my clock and all kinds of stuff. So I was puzzled, like 448. Okay. It was like, just remember that. I was like, all right, 448. So then I got 448. And then once just long enough for me to like kind of let it sink in, then I saw a light on the screen. It was like a very, very bright light in like an all black void. And it was just a bright light. And that light, I felt like that was him, the light. But it was a very bright light, but it was like really small. It was a powerful light far in the distance. So, so then I saw the light. Then he was like, okay, once I saw the light, then I saw like a symbolic representation, because it was almost like when you watch those low budgets YouTube videos, or you watch older documentaries where it has like moving pictures that represent things, but it's not a realistic. It was more representational. But anyway, around that light were little white like angels, but they didn't look real, but they were moving around the light. And I knew that they were worshiping him. They were going around him, worshiping him. And then it cut to the next screen and the next scene. And the next scene is I saw kind of like that, once again, the kind of documentary feel, where it was some pictures, like almost like drawings, like sketches, like Michelangelo type sketches, those real rough, but little sketches of angels again. And but then I heard singing. So then I heard like really beautiful praise and worship music. I don't remember the words or the singing or anything like that, but I remember the concept that praise and worship is inspired from heaven. And so I got that concept. And then, and also it made me think about immediately where somebody had a vision of heaven and they went and they saw angels singing and they were like, "You're singing the same songs that we sing in church." And the angel looked at him and was like, "Where do you think you got the song from?" So that was an interesting concept that kind of came to mind when I saw that. So then after that, after I took that in, then it switched again, and then it showed just a family, like a father, a mother, and one or two children. It wasn't my family, but it just represented family, and it looked just like one of those one of those pictures people take at the mall, or the little family, the cheaper family portraits, and it just showed that, and so then I kind of I understood that concept. As soon as I understood the concept, the image would change. Well, then finally, after all of that, it showed me, but it was like now it went away from the whole screen thing, and it showed like real life, like just like I was there, but I was from the vantage point of like backstage, and it was a big stage, and I saw myself from behind, like kind of like in documentaries of concerts where you see the back of the person, and it was me, and it looked just I mostly usually wear like black baseball hat. It just looked like how I look pretty much now at this current time, and I had a microphone. I think it was kind of tilted up, but I was looking kind of like 3/4 from behind, like a little bit from the side, and I saw the audience. The audience, it looked like a very big auditorium, probably at a high school or a college. And the audience, I didn't see everybody because it was real quick snippet. But the audience looked like, young, like later teens or early 20s. Um, African American young black men was mostly what I saw. I don't know if it's male and female, but that was the impression that I had, and it looked like people from where I live, which is Atlanta area. So that was interesting. And then afterwards, I heard like a melody. It was really interesting, but I heard like a melody in the background. Um, you know, so anyway, and I remember thinking I'm gonna save that idea for later when I make uh, some music, because I'm a rapper and a music producer among other things. So I had the impression of my dream. My impression was that I was going to speak and rap uh, in that, but I didn't hear any music other than that little sound at the end. I didn't hear any words, but my impression from that was like the words are most important, the message, and then the sound comes next. So it just seemed like it was part of the order. So that was the impression that I got, but I really feel like that dream was a message, and was the message that I was asking for. I have some of the interpretation is pretty obvious, but or seems to be pretty obvious, but I'm always looking for greater understanding and interpretation on my dreams. I have a lot more dreams, and I'm still trying to understand that I've had over the years. So, anyway, thanks for checking this out. Let me know what you think if you have any ideas what you think it may mean. All right. Blessings.